What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Hopefully your Saturday has been going great. If it has, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. Now, I read a tweet earlier on today from Representative Pramila Jayapal, and I want to read this to you because this is actually the thought process behind a lot of progressives, but a lot of Democrats as well. So, the tweet, it reads, "We're in the midst of a crisis that has left millions of families unable to afford food, rent, and bills. But at the same time, we're dumping billions of dollars into bloated Pentagon budget. Don't increase defense spending, cut it, and invest that money into our communities." So, one of the things that we've been hearing a lot lately regarding the infrastructure bill, additional stimulus, and everything in between is the fact that Democrats want to increase the direct payments to the American people, increase spending in certain areas like unemployment benefits, stimulus checks, Medicare, and things like that. There's a whole host of different ideas, but there are different things like that. The problem is, what they're saying is right now, in order to increase the funding and direct payments to the American people, the only way to do that is to make some cuts. One of the biggest cuts they could make as of right now is actually to cut the government spending bill as far as the defense contracts, because there's billions and billions of dollars going to these bloated defense contracts, which is great in a sense that's helping keep the United States competitive against China and some of the other world powers. The problem is that right now, some are saying that there's no need for this much spending. There's just no need for this much spending. So, what we know, as of right now, Democrats want to see cuts to a few different things. First, they want to do away with tax loopholes for large corporations. A lot of Democrats say that these tax corporations, yes, or these large corporations, yes, they are finding these loopholes. They're figuring out ways to avoid having to pay taxes, or at least that much money in taxes. In most cases, the richer you are, the less taxes you pay. So the richer you are, you're not going to pay, let's say 35, 40% in taxes. You're going to pay like 20%. So the rich people are actually paying less than what the middle class are paying and what some of the lower income families and individuals pay. And some say that's just not right. Democrats also want to see cuts to, or at least do away with, the bloated defense contracts. This is a big one. This is a big one. Even Bernie Sanders says we need to see cuts. But then the GOP comes out and says, no, this will leave us vulnerable to attacks. They also want to see a reduction to the cost of medications. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how would reducing the cost of medications give us money to go and spend in the economy? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It's instead of giving you an additional stimulus check, what the government can do is figure out a way so that we're not paying so much for medication. Because if you go to Canada and buy some of the medications that we get down here, and you go buy it in Canada, you're going to pay like 25% of what we pay here in the United States up in Canada. That's why a lot of people will go to Canada, buy their medication, and come back. Whether it's legal or not, that's not the issue. That's not what we're talking about here, but that's what a lot of people do because they can't afford medication here in the United States. So Democrats want to see a reduction to the cost of medications to the American people. But we will see. Right now, this is something that is being discussed. This is something that's being talked about. But as far as seeing a proposal or seeing this in the next infrastructure bill, as of right now, we just have to wait and see. What I can tell you is that Democrats are saying that by providing more direct relief to the American people, it will actually create a ripple effect through the entire economy and provide some much needed economic relief. Will it provide the economic relief quick enough? Some say yes, others say no. What I can tell you is right now, doing this trickle-up economics is going to help and impact the United States faster, according to many experts, than trickle-down economics. So instead of giving these big tax loopholes and refunds and credits to these large corporations, and hopefully they trickle that money down into their employees, what they're saying right now is, according to economists, some experts and Democrats are saying, let's give the money to the people, they will go and spend it, and we'll see this trickle-up effect. That's what they say is going to be faster than trickle-down economics. But we will see again. It all depends on what President Biden really wants to do and if he has the support from centrist Democrats. The worry at this point right now is that Democrats do not believe that they have the support from their own caucus, from their own party, to get a deal done. And on top of that, it is going to be much harder to try to get 10 Republicans on board. So, here's what we know. Because of Senators Joe Manchin and Mark Warner that do not support this infrastructure bill, which is going to be the next bill that passes. This is going to be the next bill that Congress is fighting over. Because they don't support this bill, due to the fact that there's no bipartisan support, and as of right now, Democrats have not even tried to get any bipartisan support from Republicans. So these two senators oppose this bill at this time because of that one main reason. There's other reasons as well, but this is the main one. So if this is the case, if the only way to get another bill passed is by getting 10 Republicans on board, the issue right now is it's going to be difficult. The only way to get bipartisan support from Republicans at this time is by reducing the overall cost. We heard just a couple weeks ago from the GOP that they do not support, they completely oppose the $2.25 trillion infrastructure bill simply because it's too expensive. They did come out and say $615 billion is where we're at. That is what the infrastructure bill should cost. This means making cuts where they can save money and use some of that money to provide direct relief is what Democrats are trying to do. I mentioned earlier how instead of receiving a monthly stimulus check, which would be very expensive according to Republicans and many experts as well, but instead of receiving that monthly stimulus check, we could potentially see a periodic stimulus check, which means instead of every month, maybe we get it every 2 months or every 3 months, which instead of getting $2,000 per month, maybe we get a $1,000 check every 2 months. Here you go. Okay, 2 months by, here you go. And that would go on for, let's say, 6 months of this pandemic. That could actually provide a huge incentive, a huge boost of income and direct relief to the American people. Some say that is exactly what is needed. The hard part right now is that the American people are not receiving a consistent income. If you are currently working, great. You probably have a consistent income. If you are currently on unemployment, that's good too. At least you have a consistent income. But what about all those people that just completely left the workforce? What about all the people on Social Security? What about all the people that didn't have a job or they actually ran through all their benefits at this time and they're getting absolutely nothing any longer? What about them? Well, we know the IRS is still trying to get the stimulus checks out. We know the IRS is still behind in 2019 tax returns. We know the IRS is obviously behind in 2020 tax returns as well, and say they could be backed up clear into June or possibly July. We also know the IRS is still struggling and trying to figure out how they're going to get this child tax credit out in a monthly or a periodic manner. Right now, the portal is supposed to open in June. The payments are supposed to begin flowing in July. However, according to the IRS commissioner, he states that this is going to be a challenge. With all these delays, many Democrats say that the American people are suffering now. Get this, the American people are suffering now more than under the previous administration. Guess who's saying this? It's Democrats. Now, do they firmly believe this? Maybe they do, but this is just another tactic. We saw this exact same tactic in a different type of manner when former President Donald Trump was in office. However, nobody really came out and said, hey, the previous administration was doing better than you, but now they are. Okay, they're saying this now. I honestly don't believe this is actually going to do anything. I don't think President Biden is going to fall for this tactic or bite the bait, but you never know. Democrats are trying to do just about anything to try to get President Biden to add an additional stimulus check, extension of unemployment benefits, extend the child tax credits, and provide more relief directly into the pockets of the American people. As of right now, we haven't heard from one person. We haven't heard from somebody in a little while. That is Speaker Nancy Pelosi. But why is that? A lot of people are asking, where's Nancy Pelosi? Where's she at? Where's the Speaker of the House? How come she isn't talking? How come she hasn't really said a word? And it's because she got what she wanted. Democrats won the House. Democrats won the Senate. Democrats won the presidency. She got exactly what she wanted. Her job's done. So I don't know if we're going to really hear from her too much anymore. However, chances are we would at some point. But is she going to push for certain pieces of legislation? Maybe, but probably not. So what I can tell you right now is the games are going to start to be played. We're going to see some interesting games. We're going to see the administration. We know what the administration wants, but we're going to see exactly what they're willing to provide. We know what progressives want, but how much are they willing to ask for? We also know what Republicans want as well, but how much are they willing to concede to Democrats? What I can tell you is the next few weeks will be full of surprises. We will probably see crazy proposals, things that will pass, things that won't pass, things that probably won't even be considered as well. But as always, as I know more, I promise I will keep you updated on all the new information and all the updates that we hear regarding the next stimulus checks, the infrastructure bill, and everything in between. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.